Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to test a new skin tint. Is this a skin tint? Okay, JK, I guess it's a foundation. This is the Glowy Super Skin Foundation from Saie Beauty. Yeah, I have like a big card. This came in the PR box. So it's described as the Weightless Hydro Bounce Serum Foundation. 85% skin serum, 15% weightless pigment, 100% best skin ever. Okay, luminous, hydrating, brightening, plumping, 36 shades. And it says that it is of medium to buildable coverage. So when I read that, I was like, see, I feel like serum foundations are always, like they say like buildable, but they're not, you know what I mean? So I wanted to give this one a shot because last night I opened up the package and I just tested it on my hand and I was very intrigued by the formula, very intrigued. If you guys are new, my name's Alex. I do a lot of makeup stuff. So if you're interested, subscribe and all the things. If you end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment just because it helps me out, you know what I mean? So we're gonna get right into it. They sent me 2 shades. They sent me number 1 and number 2. So number 1 is a little bit more on the neutral side, I believe, a little bit lighter. And then number 2 is a little bit more golden. I think I'm gonna end up going in with number 2 because it's what I swatched last night. I think it's gonna be pretty good. So here are swatches of both shades. So this is number 1 and then this is number 2. You can see it's like pretty liquidy, you know? Starting to run a little bit. And I was very, very skeptical. I still am a little bit about the buildable quality of this. I don't need to be this zoomed into me right now. Don't worry, I'm getting a haircut on Friday. This stuff is out of control. These roots, you know what I mean? These roots. I think I'm gonna start off with number 2 so that I can just like see if one shade is enough. If it's too dark or too yellow, then I might mix it with number 1. Just quickly, it is $40 US, 52 Canada, and 34 euros. All right, so they say to put 1/2 to 1 pump on their brand new base brush. Where did I put that? Which is this guy right here, which is what I'm going to start. I think I'm gonna do half my face with the brush and then half my face with my fingers and see what works best. It's hard to tell what half a pump is. I'm just gonna put a little boop. To prime my skin, I'm just wearing moisturizer. I'm wearing the Desi Skin Agua Fresca. I tried applying a sunscreen and it started to pill over the moisturizer. So we're gonna have to revisit it with sunscreen at some point. But I'm skeptical because it is a serum. So they also said that the best way to apply is to like press it into the skin. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do with the brush. You know, it's these kinds of products that I wish contained SPF, just because I'm always skeptical that that color is actually really nice. Well, maybe it was like 1/4 of a pump. It might have been 1/4 of a pump. Let's go up here. So the reason I'm not using additional primer or anything is because these products are just very glowy. Like already my skin is like relatively glowy, like relatively hydrated, and then I'm going in with this. And when I swatched it last night, it was pretty glowy. So I just didn't want to risk looking really oily, you know? Plus I just moisturized about 30 minutes ago, so I'm still like relatively hydrated. This is looking pretty nice though, and I actually have to say that the color is pretty good and the brush is not bad. I thought that the padding with the brush was gonna be weird just because it's like not something that I'm super used to. I'm used to using a damp beauty sponge, but it actually is gliding pretty well. And then if you have any like little marks, like if there's too much product and you have little marks from the brush, you can just kind of like lightly buff, like not buff like that, but just kind of like press it like that. Just like keep it in place and buff. And it actually seems to be blending quite nicely. Okay, so this is one side with the foundation. I know it's like a little hard to tell because I still have like dark circles popping, but looks nice and even, pretty glowy. And this is the side without. So you can obviously see I've got like redness and just little bits. My skin's been pretty good, but I've got some little bits. And it definitely like, it added a nice amount of coverage while looking like not wet, but very glowy. You can definitely still see a little like tiny imperfections, but they do look relatively like blurred to me. I'm gonna do this side with my finger. So I'm gonna put half a pump on the back of my hand. So this is how I applied it to my hand last night, and I was like very impressed by. I have a feeling that fingers is the way to go. So it does say, I don't know about like swiping or like rubbing in, especially if you're applying over top of like a sunscreen or something. But, you know, Meredith style, I never remember her last name. The one who like puts it on like a moisturizer. That might actually be like the way to go, is just kind of like smooth it on like a moisturizer and then press it into the skin. Half a pump is definitely way too much with my my fingers. It feels very nice. It does feel exactly like a serum. My stomach just made a crazy noise. Apologies if you heard that. I'm actually tempted to take a little bit of this underneath my eyes and see what's up. It's very glowy, for sure. Very, very glowy. Let me get a close-up of this. Ish. When I opened up the box, I was like, ugh, you know, like another serum foundation that's not gonna work with anything. But it looks nice. I can't really tell which side I like better. I think I kind of like the side that I applied with my finger. I mean, they look pretty similar. I feel like you get, it's a little bit easier to build up coverage. Like for instance, I have a little something right here. I think it's a little easier to build up coverage when you apply with your fingers just because of the pressing motion. You know, like the brush kind of soaks up a little bit of the product. But if you're going for something like a skin tint, like if you want to maybe apply it first with a brush, if it's faster for you, and then go in with your finger. I do feel like I got a little bit more coverage on this side than on this side. But I want to see if I can build up maybe just around my temple with the brush. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit from the back of my hand. Oh. That's actually not bad. The brush is good. You know what? I never like a brush, but I'm enjoying this. I need more on my chin. Dude, they may have like just converted me to a serum foundation wearer. What's the whole thing about this? Oh yeah, so it says that it's formulated with a proprietary hydro bounce complex that's 5 times more hydrating than traditional hyaluronic acid. Okay. I don't know. But I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the way that it looks on my skin. I'm just gonna put a little bit underneath my eyes with a brush just to see if, I don't know, just to see. Whatever. Yeah, it's not bad. It provides like a decent amount of coverage. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I would say that I would say that medium coverage is actually like pretty accurate. I think maybe light medium to medium cover. Okay, Ziva, I really need you to not be trying to get into the closet right now. Ziva, excuse me. Kitty, kitty, excuse me. I've never actually seen her do it. She's jumping at the door handle to try and open my closet. Ziva, hey, stop. I can't remember what I was saying now. If you're like someone who needs really light coverage, you want to do your makeup super duper fast. Okay, that's like very loud. Very loud. I'm just doing this because I need it to be even on both sides. If you're the kind of person who loves like really natural makeup quick, you need to go, okay? You love like clean looking skin, then I have a feeling you're gonna like this. All right, listen, I'm already talking it up. I'm looking very glowy. Maybe the dew isn't for you. I am going to kick my cat out. I'm gonna run through the rest of my makeup really quickly. The same old, same old. If you're new to my channel, it's literally the same old. Videos abound. And then I will come back and we'll reassess. This is gonna be a wear test. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's a wear test. Okay, I went in with my cream contour and concealer. No bronzer yet, just that, and like I put some powder in my brows. We're in the middle of a look, so don't judge it. I will say I am looking very dewy. I do feel like it's become a little bit more oily now than it was as I've gone like and applied products. I applied my typical products. I'm gonna go in and set with powder and see what happens. So I'm gonna go underneath my eyes with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder like I typically do. For concealer, I basically just went in with a tiny bit of my color corrector over top, and then the Tarte Shape Tape Creamy whatever that I usually use. Okay, eyes looking nice, eyes looking nice. Honestly, I feel like I need to get one of those powder puff things because I don't really like using a brush to apply my translucent powder. Should I just use a sponge? Is that weird? This is like slightly damp. I just got, like barely, I just got it slightly damp because you just never know. I always want to have it for backups, you know? I don't know, I don't want to mess with shit. I'm putting it in a paper towel. I'm going to squeeze out, oh my God, any additional moisture that there might be. So it's basically just squishy and big. And then I'm going to go in with the Haus Labs powder so that it's like relatively even. And then I'm lightly just going to press it around my whole face because I have a feeling I'm gonna need to set my whole face. That doesn't look bad. I need a brush for the center though. So I'm starting in areas where I applied concealer and just the skin, I guess I keep calling it a skin tint, it's a foundation. And then I'm going over the rest of like where I contoured and stuff. All right, now that I set that with powder, I'm gonna go in and reinforce all of those products with powder. So I'm gonna apply bronzer, amp up my contour, and then apply a little bit of blush. All right, guys, this is the finished base. I threw down some brows. I've decided to grow them out, so I made them a little thicker today, just to fill in some gaps. I'll be honest with you, I'm actually kind of surprised at how receptive this foundation has been to the powder. Like, I think my base looks really, really nice, actually. It looks, I think I may have applied maybe a little too much powder, but for my skin, I guess I was a little bit like overzealous with it because I'm used to those kinds of things making my, especially the center of my face, look really, really oily. As of right now, I feel like it looks really nice, maybe ever so slightly too matte. I can see a tiny bit of moisture coming through like the center of my forehead and just here. I'm gonna give you a deep zoom so you can really see, but you remember how like dewy we were, right? Like it was dew, you know? But right now I'm pretty happy with the way my base looks. I think it looks really nice. The color is beautiful. Everything applied really nicely on top. So I am going to wear this for a while. I have other stuff to film, so I'm gonna change and do some other things. And I will check in with you periodically to let you know how it's going, basically. We're gonna do a wear test, so I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the day. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so I filmed another video. I just want to give you a quick zoom. It's probably been like, I don't even know how long it's been, maybe an hour since I last saw you. My skin still looks really nice. I can see some sheen coming. See some sheen coming up in here? Little bit happening on my forehead, a little bit. Nothing horrible though. I'm getting like a tiny bit of creasing right here. But I don't know, I just kind of like patted that out and it looks fine now. All right, so that's after like an hour of wear. I got other stuff to do. Bro, you don't need to be this close to my face while I'm talking to you the entire time. I have dishes to do. I have laundry to do. I'm probably gonna do some yoga. And I'll check back in with you a little later on. I don't know where that's coming from, so we're gonna ignore it. It's only been, when did I put this on? Probably like noon. It's now like 5:30. I'm looking pretty dewy right now. Yeah, so lots of oil. I'll just give you a zoom. Pretty oily. All that powder I applied just disappeared over time. I'm looking real dewy. So besides the fact that all of that oil came through, in, I would say, a relatively short period of time. Like this hasn't been a super long day. It's been 5-ish hours, 5.5. I also have some breakup. I don't know how well you guys can see this area. I'll try to give you a zoom. Where are my smile lines? There's a bit of breakup. For the majority of the day, or for the last at least like a couple hours, I was pretty happy with how it was wearing until maybe the last like couple of hours. So I would say that it wore relatively well for like the first 2, but then after that, this happened. And I actually did apply kind of a lot of powder to begin with. So, you know, that is so annoying. I really want to get rid of that, but I just don't even know where it's coming from. Whatever, we're just gonna pretend. So overall, I don't think I'm gonna be able to wear this. Here's the thing, even though I have some breakage and it looks pretty oily, I really liked the way it made my skin look. And even now, like even though I'm pretty oily, like in my T-zone and stuff, I don't hate it. It does have a pretty slippery consistency, and that's like my biggest concern is I didn't really touch my face. It wasn't like a rough, it wasn't like a particularly, you see that? I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like I was just home pretty much, like editing. I did the dishes, I did some shit around the apartment, I did yoga, but it wasn't like crazy or anything. I don't think that this would wear well, like through long hours throughout the day, especially if you're doing like, I don't know, like if you're going to someone's wedding or if you have an event or if you're gonna be like out and about. My skin type has become slightly more dry over time as I started using treatments for breakouts and also tretinoin. So I'm not even like my oiliest. I don't know, I have to fix it. I think I would have to find the most perfect mattifying primer to make this work for me. If you are extremely dry skinned and it feels like nothing is hydrating enough for you, and you want something that's gonna feel more liquidy, more like a serum, then I think that this would be a really good option for you. It does create a really beautiful, smooth look to the skin, but like, if you're oily, there's no way, okay? There's no way that you're gonna be able to get away with this, just based on my experience with the last like few hours. I would say that the amount of like moisturizer that I used, I wasn't piling anything on top of my skin. I didn't use a lot. I was like, I mean, you saw me, I was well hydrated, but I wasn't oily looking. I've definitely been way more oily looking before doing my makeup. I'm sad because I really liked it. I liked the color. I really liked the way that it felt on my skin. I'm probably going to try to experiment with some mattifying primers, which I've never really been able to find any that I liked completely. So I don't know, it's gonna be like a behind the scenes kind of thing. As of right now, this is only something that I would recommend for those of you who are extremely dry. The other things that are like concerning are because it's so liquidy, I don't think it'll work well over sunscreen at all. I think it will break down your sunscreen. It'll pill over sunscreen. That's just an assumption because I haven't tried it yet, but based on the formula and the amount of like dew in it, I just don't think that it's gonna work out very well. And if you have like normal to oily skin, I would say that my skin now is like relatively normal, and I do get some oil in my T-zone occasionally, depending on the products that I use. You might want to avoid it. Like you gotta be dry. So that's it, guys. I hope that this wear test was helpful for you. I was definitely very intrigued when they sent me the package. And I still, I still have some hope. So I'm still gonna try, but it's not something that I would recommend for anyone with my skin type or oilier. Yeah, but if you pick this up, please let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see more like foundation wear tests, if there are any other complexion products that you're interested in. If you found this video I almost said if you found this If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and all the things, and I'll see you in the next one.